There are three types of friends: those that are like food, without which you cannot live; those that are like medicine, which you need occasionally; and those that are like an illness, which you never want. It is a common statement to say that cancer and many other genetic disorders have affected each of our lives at some point or another. But what if we took control of this effect on our lives? If we took control of this issue, we could keep those friends that are like food and get rid of those that are like an illness. I would like to encourage the use of genetic testing. According to ornl.gov, there are more than 1,000 genetic tests that can be performed in a lab. Genetic testing can be used to track early stages of cancer, birth defects, and many other disorders that have an impact on our lives. There are many people in my life that have experienced devastation and heartache due to genetic disorders. My best friend from high school has a younger sister that was born with a mental illness. This illness was caused by a defect on a certain chromosome in the early stages of growth and development. She is only one out of 33 cases in the entire world that carry this chromosomal defect. The name of her genetic disorder is called an imbalanced translocation of the 9th and 11th chromosomes. That's a very in-depth term, but it only means a chromosomal abnormality. Recent medical discoveries and research have allowed this disorder to be found in genetic testing. Once a person is old enough to be tested, which is 18 years old, he or she can discover if they carry the gene. The test will be run on a patient. It's called a genetic array test. If the person does carry the gene, this birth defect can be avoided through in vitro fertilization. Not only this birth defect, but many other diseases and illnesses can be detected early in pregnancy or even before pregnancy. According to kidshealth.org, the two types of testing done during pregnancy are called amniocentesis and chorionic villus sampling, which is called CVS. NetWellness.org says that 3 to 4% of all babies born each year will suffer from a genetic disorder or major birth defect. 1% of these babies will be diagnosed with a chromosomal abnormality, which can cause physical problems and mental retardation. 20% of all infant deaths are caused by genetic disorders or birth defects. After asking my friend several questions, she told me that she would highly recommend genetic testing for anyone who believes they could have any chance of carrying a gene with a genetic disorder. Another disease that can be tracked through this genetic testing is cancer. Cancer can be detected early, and a person can also be tested to see if they carry the gene for cancer. If an individual carries this gene, he or she can be watched early to catch the cancer as soon as it begins to grow. My roommate's mom was diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer about a year and a half ago, and she is 45 years old. According to the National Cancer Institute, the median age for a diagnosed cancer patient is 61. She was unable to see the cancer cells in a regular mammogram because the cells were flat. The only way to detect flat cancer cells is through a sonogram. Her mom will soon be tested to see if she carries the hereditary gene for cancer. If she does, then my roommate will be tested also. Studies show that 5 to 10% of breast and ovarian cancer is hereditary. The tests that are run on hereditary cancer genes are called the BRCA1 and BRCA2. These sound very difficult and technical, but it only means that they are testing your cells for hereditary genes. In these tests, doctors analyze your blood and saliva to detect changes in your genes. If cancer is inherited by a person, he or she can be watched carefully, and they can be given early treatments that will help in the long run. Think if we all started to take advantage of the discoveries in genetic testing. There would be so many lives saved, and so much devastation will be brought to an end. In conclusion, there are some diseases and disorders that are not severe enough to cause harm. But for those that are, there is always a healthy option to take. I now hope that you all see the greatness and positive effects of genetic testing.